Hey YouTube family, welcome back to JTV, and this is J-Talkshow, and my name's Susan, Agyei, and we are back again, and we apologize for the long break. The production got busy. So today I have with me in the studio 3 gentlemen, and they're going to introduce themselves. So let me start with the first man on my left. Please.
My name is Taufik, known as Akombi Taufik on Instagram. I am a Nigerian and I am an entrepreneur and I'm also a writer. So I think that's basically it.
Yeah, I happen to be Ndichi Gabriel Eduji, and I am a YouTuber. I'm a student. In fact, when I'm asked to introduce myself, I don't have much to say. So,
It's very hard.
Yeah, it's very hard. Yeah.
The last man standing.
I'm Emmanuel John, aka MG, the director of the program.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have our director.
They
and
have your face is familiar on this channel.
all over the
Yeah, we
place.
see me every
Yeah.
day. Sometimes here, sometimes there,
So today we are going to be talking about self-development. I hope it will be exciting. So first off, I think there's a question like everybody will just ask, what is self-development? Who will go first?
Well,
Gabriel.
No, there is an option. It's harder.
Should I read one of this now?
yeah. Because at this point, I think I will allow Tofik to go first, because he's immediately to you, and then head event.
Self-development is, for me, basically, it's growth, self-growth. I mean, advancement. You should not just be stagnant. They say stagnant water is not good.
Yeah.
It's not healthy.
Yeah.
The healthy water is the one who moves and comes back.
Exactly.
So that's basically, for me, that's what self-development is the ability to gain more more skills and to do more things, basically. Because one thing I usually say is that it is wrong for you to be the same person for a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, someone who has known me for 5 years should not come back after 5 years and it's still you. No. I mean, there should be new aspects to my life because I've evolved from that kind of person. I've grown from that previous life. I've read new books. I've met new people. I've had new encounters, new experiences. So for me, that's the self-development.
I mean, you've grown beard, you've grown
Not physical features, mental features.
Yeah.
yeah, it's really important.
MJ, anything to add?
Yeah, I think it's exactly what he said. He took it from the direction of self-develop or
Self-growth.
self-growth in a certain way. I'm also going to add to it as acquiring some features or some skills that increases your capability or your potential. And so that can also be in a way of developing oneself.
Yeah, I would simply put it like being different from who you previously were. Simple. Yeah, that's basically what I was saying.
Okay. But wait. So if you were good,
Well, in a positive way. In a positive way. I know where you're going to. In a positive way. Yeah, in a positive way. That's what I believe. Like, new changes, new life,
lucky.
or something like that.
You're
Yeah,
lucky
I'm prepared. Yeah, I know what is going on in your head. Yeah, basically that's what I would say. I wouldn't want to say much because Taufik has said a lot and you've also added to it already. Yeah, so I wouldn't say much.
And how can one be self-developed?
Well, self-development, as Taufik has already said, how can someone be self-developed? There are lots of ways, It depends on in which aspect of life you want to be developed in. You get it? Maybe being it your mental well-being, being your physical changes, whatever it is. So that already should be your motive. The reason why you should first of all know what you want to change about your life or develop about your life before you can go ahead to know how you will go about it. That's what I think it is going to be. So in this case, I don't know. Based on what Tofik said, I think he said mental health or what? Physical health, I don't know.
No, I said mental features.
Mental
Developing
features.
Those mental
Good.
features.
So for instance, if you want to, develop yourself in terms of knowledge, you definitely have to read books. You definitely have to, go in, be curious about, getting to know new knowledge, new ideas, getting the wisdom. That's basically how you go about it. So first of all, you have to know what you want to change about yourself. That's what I would say. What do you guys think? Yeah. Yeah, that's what I would say for now.
Yeah. Okay, I believe exactly what you said. I mean, the question was how can you develop yourself, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there are a lot of ways, as he said. You could read books. That is, if you want to acquire knowledge. But basically, everybody needs to acquire knowledge in one way or the other. Even if you want to develop your mental health, the knowledge could be from books or from an individual. Like it's used to happen from the olden days and stuff like that, where we go to, our forefathers and our foremothers to acquire that kind of wisdom from there. And then from there, you know that you've been able to develop yourself mentally and even the way you structure your statements when you are with elderly people and stuff like that. Also, social media has also given us a very good opportunity to reach a lot of informations. And I would say that, currently the youth are not really, most youth are not really using it in the right way. But then there are still some people that we could not still deny the fact that it is a medium through which, you can develop yourself. There are many ways also, but I'll just leave it for here.
Well, for me, before Tofik talks or the host talks, for me, when you say they are not using it in the good way, what do you mean? Because honestly, that's what someone thinks is right for him or her.
Yeah.
So it's not up to you to tell the person this is the wrong way. Because for instance, I know maybe you are taking it in this way. Someone fraud someone to get money.
Yeah.
That's the job he's doing. He thinks it's very positive because it's aiming at the
But it's a criminal job. You know that fraud is criminalized.
I know.
Yeah, but
then to him, that's the
it's
thing.
not about being to him. It's like you telling me that physically someone can just come and then kill somebody. To him, is good.
That's
but
another aspect. We are talking about I said fraud.
Fraud on the internet is like killing somebody.
Let's take it very basic. I don't know what example I can actually set, but then there are certain situations which I believe you might think it's the wrong thing.
Yeah.
For instance, putting out your naked picture on the internet. Do you think it's really wrong or bad?
For me, I think if I have to advise my sister, I would say it's bad because at the end of the day,
that's your opinion.
Yeah, that's my opinion. But then it's bad because
I don't want you to.
You know that nudity even in some countries is a crime.
Well, I just want to put out there that not all the time that
the topic of good and bad is very controversial.
Yeah.
And I think it's very hard even for a nation to dictate what is good and what is bad.
For me, I believe that there are certain things people do on the internet. What people do on the internet can be bad.
Yeah.
Obviously, it can be judged very badly. But then people actually take this thing out of context to the extent that when people do something they think is very positive, they give reasons why they do it. People tend now to think that it's very bad. But then we are not going to talk about that today. Taufik, you can just go ahead and tell us how people can
obviously there are certain things,
how people can actually develop themselves.
There are certain things that are good to some people, which is a personal issue. For that, I don't have a problem with it. You understand?
Yeah.
But then when you are talking about fraud, like
that's why it's actually a mistake bringing up fraud.
Thank you.
I'm very sorry. That shouldn't have. That shouldn't be the example.
So, it's true.
Yeah, Taufik, the floor is yours.
You're welcome.
This is interesting.
Yeah, the floor is yours.
To me, I think oftentimes, you want to say something?
No, just go.
I think oftentimes we mistake literacy for self-development, although it's not a mistake basically because they are connected in a way. But I see like self-development can happen in different forms, and one of the things that I see that it's a channel for self-development is to travel, explore new cultures, meet new people that are not wired the way you're wired. They're not nurtured the way you're nurtured. They have their own different way of life. They see life in a different shape and they have a different mind view towards life. So, I mean, meeting those people, learning from them, seeing the world from their own point of view is a way for you to grow personally. And I know, I see that people who travel more, they have more exposure and they are more enlightened. Their scope of reasoning is wider than someone who is just in their house, basically. So that's one way to explore self-growth. And like you said, like reading books, there are many books that you could read to like grow. And at the same time, acquire new skills. Always try to acquire new skills. Also, addition to that, self-growth could also be you just interacting with people in your environment. There are people who are just so introverted. not. This is not.
Yeah, we understand.
understand.
This is not an attack on
someone's
introverted
personality,
people.
yeah.
But what I'm trying to say is that when you mix with people, when you interact with people, when you have experience, human experience, this is also a channel for self growth.
I think it's very good, especially the experience part, because most of us that have come out of the country,
Yeah.
when you go back home, you really see yourself, especially when you use the opportunity very well to explore
Exactly.
how some people think and stuff.
Because I was
like
about to go there, some people actually travel out of their countries, but whenever they go to wherever they go to, they don't end up like immersing themselves into the culture of the people to, broaden their mind. So this is quite an important thing people have to look at when they want to develop themselves. They should actually take part in the cultural activities of the countries they go to. They shouldn't be, like you said, introvert, but we're not talking about them. Definitely, we are not going to criticize.
I think that is being narrow-minded, like to just be like you want to shut your doors on other cultures, and you don't want to be like open-minded and learn from other people.
So should you also learn the bad stuff? Yeah,
It's not learn the bad stuff.
Should you also learn the bad stuff? That's also a development.
Relax,
It's like you're
I'm scared of you.
you just recently defined what bad is. That is relative, n'est-ce pas?
Yeah.
So what do you classify as bad in terms of the culture?
It depends on the individual, like you said. It's subjective.
Okay, so you guys were basically around reading books, social media.
Experience.
How about somebody that doesn't know how to read or doesn't like to read, and those that don't have access to social media?
Yeah, especially one. I don't like to read, honestly. Let me make it obvious.
It's good. I love the acknowledgement, because sometimes people shy away from saying it. And I think it's real, and people should acknowledge it. It's a thing, and it's real. And that is why audiobooks are available. If you feel like you're not the type who loves to read, you can listen to books.
Well, for me, I'll be honest once again. My problem is when growing up, when our parents bought us books, they actually buy books that has pictures in them. So I really love reading those kind of books. I love, I'm someone who actually loves to picture stuff. To the pictures. So that's why I ended up loving movies than reading. So even if you are talking in terms of audio, I think it will still be a challenge for me. Unless it's a movie. Because I really love the visual aspect of book. But then someone told me that you can also read a book and then picture the situation, which I think it takes a lot. That means you will not care much about the people around you. When your eyes are in your book, it will be in your book.
Exactly, that's the beauty.
And that becomes a problem.
Imagine reading a poem and you are imagining the words of
I hate to interrupt. But that's the point. I mean, that's the beauty of being a writer, because you are in your reader's mind. You're painting a picture somewhere. You're taking your reader from where its present place to somewhere else.
But then
you don't have to be here when you're reading. You have to be somewhere inspiring.
For me, honestly, because to me, I feel like I want to do I want to do a little bit of everything at the same time, which is very bad, definitely. But that will end up being that I should have to focus all my attention on the book. But then I think that's what the readers want. But unfortunately, I can't provide that. I just have to say, I'll do my best next time. So me, for one, I don't like reading. So how do I develop myself then? Coming back to your question. Social media is not available for everybody, definitely. Because there's some people in the remote areas, they don't have data and all those stuff. But then, like they said, it's adding something new to yourself. You can travel. You can observe others in your community. You can talk to them. And this can also help your mental health. Apart from the fact that you gain experience from them, because even if you don't travel as a person, definitely the person you might talk to has traveled. Except that if the person is lying to you, you learn certain things. And even if you are lied to, you've learned certain things either way. So I think that's another way you can actually gain some kind of development. You don't actually have to be on social media, read book or watch movies, but you can talk to the people around you, which is very, very important. What do you guys think?
I think self-development doesn't necessarily have to be like interaction based. Also, you could just be hitting the gym. It's a form of growth.
Yeah, physical growth.
Yeah. So it's not limited. Basically, it's just you having the willingness to be more than you presently are.
So you hit the gym.
Yeah, just to change physically. Is that what you mean? Like you change physically, right?
Yeah. What I'm trying to say is that you necessarily don't have to limit self-growth to encounters or you experience with people.
Psychological
It's just basically you having wanting to grow beyond your personal your present state.
In any way, any form. I think so.
In any way, in any form.
Yeah. I think so.
All right, so let's do a little comparison here, comparing this generation and the previous ones.
Yeah.
With self-development, how would you compare both generations?
Are you talking about centuries or the comparison? Because maybe the generation before me is actually a generation, but then the generation before the generation that were behind me are actually a generation. So which particular?
I think she's saying this generation.
This 21st century.
This
21st century.
Exactly. Yeah. Now I get
This
it.
generation of internet.
Okay, good. Yeah. No, we have to make it clear.
Tech generation.
Yeah, the tech generation, the AI generation.
Yeah.
The AI thing.
Now, what are you
The
comparing?
identity generation.
Yeah.
You can choose.
Come
Me,
on,
I want
come
to be a cowboy.
Do you think this generation is more self-developed than the previous ones?
Do I? Well, not me alone. Others too. Yeah. Yeah.
We are waiting on you.
Why? Oh, All right. For me, honestly, I think in this generation we are right now, you have everything available to self-develop yourself. So, as compared to the previous generation, I think this generation of AI, they actually have that opportunities to develop themselves. So, if you don't actually develop yourself as at now, then there's actually a problem. That's why it happened that the majority of the people are actually developing themselves because of the things they have around them. Basically, that's how I put it. I hope I've answered your question because at a point I got lost. They were looking at me that much.
Yeah.
No, we should hear from you.
Yeah. Okay.
For me, I disagree. Because I don't know if the question was really focused on the easy access to self-development, this generation and the previous generation. Then obviously we can come to the fact that, okay, this generation, there is a lot of accessibility to text technology and stuff that can help you develop yourself. Because trust me, self-development is not a big deal because it could be just acquiring a capability, like you said, going to the gym. Your father teaching you how to hunt, teaching you how to farm. And so it's not just reading because it's very broad. So if you are saying that this generation have access to these things and so you automatically think that they are more self-developed than the previous one, then I think it's wrong because we could have people or we have people in the previous generation who were basically more self-developed than this generation.
Yeah, Taufik, before you talk, right? I know you've had a lot in your brain going on, but then let me say before I forget.
Yeah.
In previous times, okay, what happened was that, see, when your father teaches you how to hunt, that's one. Then next people come in, they will also be taught how to hunt. Yeah. So the only thing that happens in that particular family is they end up becoming the same
generation
kind
of hunters.
But you see, that's how they develop to become. But in this generation we are, we are talking about doing more than you are. All right. So basically, this family will end up being known as family of hunters, family of warriors. That's what
do you think in the olden days, a hunter family will not have a musician in it?
But then they will not develop that.
Who told you that? I mean,
I'm afraid.
These recent movies that we are having were even written down by the previous generation. There are games that were there before that right now it has become movies, but they're written by by these people.
Yeah, I understand. Maybe that family, they are just known for moving.
No, you are not there.
Honestly.
You are not
if
there.
you look at the previous generation, you realize that this family is actually known for this. It's because that's what they chose to develop.
But
And they don't go beyond that.
self-development doesn't just end on occupation. But you are
I'm just giving an example because that's what you started with. Because honestly, when you look at previous generation, we have this generation, they are known for singing. That's what happens. But in today's generation, you realize that someone is actually a footballer, but this person has gone to school. He has explored. This person knows a lot than you can even think of.
No,
You'll be surprised
you can't say
that. Yeah.
You can't say that. They
For
can-
instance, I don't know if there's this recent times, this footballer, a female footballer who plays for Nigerian national team playing for the World Cup. I don't know when this video will be released. By then, they'll be done with the World Cup. Yeah, I don't know. Then people can actually look up this lady. I forgot her name. And it happened that this lady is actually doing her PhD in mental health something.
Wow.
You see, so it's something that you've realized that in this generation, people do more than they think they are. But in previous generation, when you are known for singing, you are in this family for singing. That's what you do. That's why even the movies you've been watching that you said they've written down for a very long time, when they are showing this movie, they know, okay, this family, they are the warriors. So we are going to talk to this family. This family, they are the protectors of the king. And that's basically
I'll come
so
to that,
Taufik,
but
you will
let's
come to that later.
I'll come to
Taufik,
that.
answer.
Let's-
I mean, for me, it's a lot. It's a lot, really, because we need to like define the point in history. Like, is it the medieval period? Like, what time in the olden days are we comparing to this present time? Because I would like to ask a rhetorical question. Imagine, because you referenced football, so I'm just gonna go there.
I don't have to answer, right? That's the
Yeah, of course. Imagine
Asking
a
this.
footballer like Messi or Ronaldo in the 18th. They're not going to have this much fame. They probably would not be this skillful because of the things that their reality at the time. So I think it is not fair to compare people from this generation to that generation.
Why are you coming to me? You already said the message. I didn't take a side.
Another thing I would say is
I didn't take a side.
take Shakespeare for
First.
instance.
Wait.
Shakespeare is referenced in almost every English dictionary on earth. And even when you come to literary books, you hear Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe if Shakespeare come to existence this time, it's not going to survive because he's going to be speaking the English that existed in the medieval period, and we're not going to understand a thing, and he's not going to be able to communicate to this audience. So to me, it's not fair.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, coming back to
Okay.
when does self-development end? When do you end it? When do you say, okay, I've achieved, and so I've developed myself to this particular stage, and I think it's
It doesn't
It
end.
doesn't end.
exactly.
Yeah, obviously.
It doesn't end.
Yeah.
So why would you train somebody to just be a fisherman?
I never said if someone you brought that. aspect
No,
up.
you
I
were
said
saying-
no. I said I am not going to attribute the fact that you have easy access to these things to self-development, because you were basing the fact that this generation would be more or could be more self-developed than the previous generation because of their accessibility to text. And that is why I was telling you that no, it can't be so, because you can't say that, because in the olden days they have ways of also acquiring potentials and capabilities.
They have ways, but then it's not up to this one we have today.
But still, the fact that you have something doesn't make it.
That's the
assume
beauty
that
of
you-
comparison. Definitely they have something, but we have more than they do. Simple as
But
that.
that's not what she asked. Her question was, "Are you it?" It's not like, "Do you have it?" Do you have what you
There is
need?
no comparison there. We all acknowledge that there is self-development
Yeah,
in all time of history, like since
Exactly.
the existence of
that's
man.
it.
Because if not, we will not have all of these technologies that we have. Like people are basically advancing every
Themselves.
day
And
and,
it all
trying to
started from
create
there.
new things.
Yeah.
So
So,
It existed, but then
but then
as
small.
compared to now,
you are still saying it's small. Okay, well,
Yeah, it is.
it's
It
more,
is.
and there is
It
more
is.
to come.
Even
There's more
though,
to
even
come.
though they started it, obviously they are even AI. I learned that it started very long time.
obviously
But
during the time of
but just that it wasn't so much developed as it is now.
Yeah.
And then why? It's because of the recent things we
No,
have
you
around.
can't say it's not so much developed.
It wasn't. Honestly, I know
The
they
fact
built on
that
it,
the
but
majority of
they
things,
would have done a
the
lot of things with it.
quantity does not necessarily mean quality.
I'm lost here, though.
You understand?
Because-
I am.
Because
No, I'm lost. Where you said like AI existed long ago. That's
Yeah,
where
it
I'm-
is.
That's where I'm going.
I was
Because
surprised when I heard it. It
Inter-
existed, but just that
the
it
whole
wasn't.
internet hasn't lasted a century yet.
which
So
one?
internet, like generally, like connected to something and be able
Maybe-
to come.
Well,
connect
I was
with
surprised when I
something.
heard it myself.
Maybe,
So-
maybe he's talking about the
I'm
fact
gone.
that because
The idea.
the
Well, maybe
idea and
it's,
stuff like
it's
that,
just
yeah.
the idea that was existed in existence then, but then to
But when you
develop
talk
it,
about
to develop it, maybe it wasn't there at that time. But I was
Okay.
surprised when I also heard it that AI has been there, but just that it wasn't so much developed as it is. Like you are saying,
Okay.
internet was not. I mean, it started recently. So if you needed internet to make AI work, that doesn't mean the idea wasn't in existence. right?
For me, I
But we are
think that
comparing
there's gonna be a
21st
lot of
and 20th
things to
century.
be in existence before you even
Think of
like,
it.
You can't think of it.
No, people can think of it. So there are a lot of
Incorporate
things.
it, I mean,
There are a lot of things that were thought about long time ago, and it's been even applied now.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Then
though, but then
foundations
I didn't
have
do
been
my
laid down. I mean,
research.
civilization and stuff like that. It's not in our time. It started a long time ago in Egypt and stuff like that. So at the end of the day,
Yeah, so
we have-
basically, me, I think as compared to the olden days, I mean,
we are more.
we are more, yeah.
me, I think
So
We
I
are
don't
more
think so.
self-developed
I don't
than
think
the
so.
olden people.
I mean,
don't think
and if I'm compelled
We are
to
very
choose a
curious.
stance, I'm gonna go with him. I'm sorry.
Me, I'm also compelled to choose a stance. I'm not going to choose
No,
a
no,
Like,
don't
you
use me
guys
as
are-
reference. Don't use me as reference.
You are in the middle now.
You want
Alright,
to
so
tell
you
me
guys
about
are basing it on recent technology.
That is what they're saying.
Media.
No, apart from that, I'll take all of that
that
aside. Take all
place
of that
for
aside.
me. I think
Let me stop you there. Let's say in the olden days, you want to bring a speaker, a public speaker from that time now, and bring a public speaker from this era, and put
I
them
will
to a
choose
debate.
the olden days because they were more
your
true to
choice.
this
We're not
particular
asking, we're not asking for
time.
your choice. We don't want you to choose. We're bringing them on a podium to
Yeah.
debate. Okay,
Okay.
let this guy speak and let this other guy speak. Who's gonna win?
The olden time will win. I'm
on
telling
what?
you.
Based
If you
on what?
okay, let me give you an example.
Based
If you
on
put
what?
Solomon,
It's
if you put
never
Solomon,
gonna win.
if you put Solomon being detected as the wisest man on earth, and then you put who will you put down to compare Solomon?
You know why he's
Elon.
never gonna win. You know why he's never gonna
Why
win.
is not going?
Because he's addressing a different audience that is entirely different from his.
No, but since you are saying that when you are going to bring that person, you are not going to bring just that person out. You are going to bring the people from that side also. We are all going to mix. Because you comparing just that individual and bringing him here,
Look,
will be
I
a cheat.
understand. That means
You
they
compare
develop
all the
themselves in
generations.
their own way.
It's not gonna meet.
Yeah.
We also develop ourselves in our own way.
Yeah.
But then we would have been better. And
You
we are doing
wouldn't
much
have been
better than them.
better. You wouldn't have been better. my
Because
dear.
I feel like there are a lot of things that are
You
facilitating
can help us move
when
this
it comes to
conversation
when it comes
also,
to the
because I think it's never
self-development.
gonna end.
You get it.
There are lots of things.
No. There are lots of things that comes into play.
Yeah.
And it happened that this generation in which we are today have all those things in place.
So do you think Jim started this era, this 21st century?
That I don't have any idea about it.
He didn't
Because
start in
The
21st
thing
century.
is, people in the past time, there are certain things or certain equipments that they would have loved to be in existence.
Yeah,
they would have
obviously.
wanted to do more if those things were in place.
Yeah.
So they don't have those things, and we have those things, and we still want more.
Yeah, but if we
They-
have it,
even
does not
like, we
necessarily
still want
we
more.
have it does not necessarily mean that we are.
no, I'm sorry. Honestly, if you are someone out there and you are not developing yourself, with the fact that there are a lot of things in existence to make you develop yourself, you are
We are
still
not-
developing
Like,
yourself.
bro, you poor.
We are not comparing.
I'm sorry.
We are not,
No,
we are not
I'm
talking
sorry.
about. We are not talking
I
about
know
national
you
development.
are saying it.
We are talking
You are
about
saying because maybe you
self-development.
might have seen people around that have not developed
Okay,
themselves.
wait.
We are not talking about
We're
national
talking about self development. You say
Yeah.
one of the areas where you can get self development is to travel, right?
Yeah, obviously.
Imagine traveling those days where you have to before you get to nearby city, you have to travel weeks or months. And now you just go within hours and you're there.
Okay, let
I
me
mean,
give-
we're faster. We have access to a lot of things.
Imagine the means of
Thank
transportation.
you so much. Because
Before you can communicate
The
with somebody
maps-
that is in China, you know how long it's going to take you.
Traffic. Even with what we have trained to go to Marrakesh,
you are talking
it's very
about
fast.
access.
But I'm always thinking about it. I'm going to put myself in this stress traveling from here. Sometimes I wish they just carry me today and put me over there.
Nobody will
And
carry you.
imagine those people in those days.
Nobody will
Imagine the stress they would have to go through. The number of months they have to spend on the sea just to get to maybe some other part of country.
These maps and stuff like discovery of the world and stuff like when was it done?
We acknowledge their effort. They did,
They did very
No,
well.
I just asked the
Of
question.
course, they did
I'm
very
just asking the question.
Yeah.
These maps that we are using today,
They
Yeah.
can't
The
compete
map
with us.
and
They
stuff.
can't. They can't.
and then
They can
I'm
never
asking them a
compete.
question. They are talking about. I said these maps
Yeah.
that we are using today,
Yeah.
and the discovery of the continent of the world, and even the discovery of the planet and stuff. Which generation?
No, there are still
discovered it?
things. There are still things that they're discovering till present.
All right.
day.
Okay.
That's
Let
Our
me.
Google, they can't.
No.
Their map cannot stand beside our
No.
Google maps.
Okay. All right.
So
all
what
right.
are you saying?
All right.
Imagine the things that
Where
we
was
still
the
discover.
inspiration from this Google map from?
No, there are things that have been in place now that can never exist that time. There are satellites. You can actually look at live view of a street or a certain location now. You can't do that on the map.
It's like you guys are talking about tech right now. The accessibility to tech.
About a lot of things.
You are talking about the accessibility to technology.
Well, at this point, I think we
that
should.
is what we have here. We can't definitely talk over here, talk ourselves around without talking about technology.
But then at the end of
one
the
of
day, it's
our
just
reality.
one. It's
So
just
we
one
have-
of them. It's just one. You can't use that particular one to
Okay.
to
So
summarize
then comes the
everything.
question:
No.
what will make us develop ourselves? Mention it.
Tell him, just take technology out of your life
Mhm.
and live in this present, and let's see you survive in this present time.
Can you?
I think why in the rural areas, I don't know living. They are living.
There is light.
That's the
They have
thing. You see-
electricity.
you
They
see-
have electricity.
Yes, they have
They have
electricity.
means for
Honestly.
transportation. How do things reach them? How do they transport the agricultural produce that they make outside?
But
How do
we-
they make
they have their
money?
own ways.
These things are-
I believe that they have their own ways of living.
Good.
There
That
is
is
tech,
what I
there is
want to
mobile
do.
Yeah, they have
phone.
their own ways of doing their
You
stuff.
are bringing
There
the
is-
olden
even in
times.
those rural areas, there is tech.
Okay, let me
Yeah,
ask
there's
you.
mobile phone.
Okay, let me
Yeah.
ask you a question. Like you are bringing the olden times to this particular age. That's the same way in the olden times. If let's say you would have taken what's the name? You would have taken let's say a computer, or if you would have
You should
taken
say console, I
something
hope.
in the olden
Console,
days, they will never be able to use it because this thing develops slowly by slowly. So if you bring those people here, just one person here, the person might not survive. Whereas the same way, if you carry somebody from this era, you take him to that generation, he or she is also
MJ, I
going to
feel like that's
face a constraint.
another problem.
All right, that's it.
On a final note, let me just ask you a direct question.
Yeah.
Would you prefer to live in this generation or the past generation? You
I don't
personally.
absolutely, I don't have any problem with it.
Preference.
Any generation,
Preference.
I don't
Which
have
one
a
would you
preference.
prefer?
I don't prefer.
You know the truth. You know the
You can't see.
I don't prefer anything.
All right, so we will appreciate the previous generation.
Well,
because
you guys
they
put it in
created
the
the way
comment
for
section.
us.
Which one, please?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Let
Yeah.
the people judge.
I will win.
Because I feel like no.
I will.
All right, so I was saying that we would appreciate the previous generation because they created the way
Yeah.
for us. So we
I feel like the
cannot.
host agrees with us. Yeah.
We cannot just.
We cannot compare.
Yeah, we can't compare.
We can't compare because
Yeah.
there were things they also created that we are benefiting from
Yeah,
today.
Of course.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right, keep your comments coming. This argument, I don't know.
It's endless.
It's not yet to end.
No, we have to talk about this off camera because of time. Let's just yeah.
Yeah, I'm running out of time.
Mhm.
You guys talked about, you brought in rural areas and urban areas.
Mhm.
So let's talk a little bit about that,
Mhm.
like very short. Let's compare self-development, the two rural and urban areas. Let me start with MJ.